Earlier, we got a chance to talk with HANSON because Hop Jam is coming up, and you're going to want to go. And they're in the studio to talk about something new they're adding this year for Hop Jam. Hey, guys, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to be back.
Hop Jam coming up. We've got a great day of events that's going to happen with the free music. You guys just announced Nada Surf and Drew Holcomb, Rah Rah Riot, Manchester Orchestra, and the band from the Awesome Music Opening Band Contest, which just ended on Friday, and voting starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
How are the submissions?
Amazing submissions. I mean, honestly, the diversity of the music that people throw in there, I think, is always the thing that blows me away. You've got rock, you've got R&B, you've got old and young, and honestly, I think this might be the best year yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've done this opening music contest sort of inspired by. We started in the Brady District a couple decades ago, and it's been cool to see. The first year we didn't get that many submissions, and the way it's grown, like the whole this side of the festival, the music side, seeing local music be a part of the festival, it's pretty cool.
And so those of you that are local music fans, you've got to show up and cast your vote. Like I said, go to the website Hop Jam, go to TulsaWorld.com. You can see that there's a banner for it there. Get the word out, and because that show is obviously beer is happening, craft beer is going on right down Main Street, but the main stage, the winning band is going to kick that off and get to share the stage with Manchester Orchestra, with Nada Surf, and it's going to be a great deal.
And you guys know this from your experience, there's a big difference between playing just like a little stage or a local festival stage and playing the main stage that you guys bring in for an event like that. It's a completely different, intimidating factor, right?
Well, it's fun. I mean, it's really exciting to get up on a big stage and really have the opportunity to feel what that is and sort of take advantage of the template that you have in front of you. The production of the show is, it's a big festival. It's a festival that you'd see, kind of stage you'd see at national festivals. So I think for an artist, it may be one of the biggest shows they've done, and hopefully it's a landmark where they can make some new fans and help build a fan base just like we've seen happen in Tulsa. And
Zach, what about voting? People can go to the site tomorrow and start voting?
Yeah, so you can start voting tomorrow, Hanson.net or Tulsa World / Awesome Music Contest. And, this is all about you. You guys, whoever votes for wins. We don't, so you got to get out.
Zach does have a bands. Dr. Evil, though. He does secretly select a few. That
Did you guys argue over who your favorites were? Like, oh, no, I want them to win.
There's usually, there's a lot of opinions in the Hanson opinion. We're like, no, that we're going to go head to head on this. But I mean, I think the great thing about the whole event is it is so diverse. I mean, the music is diverse, the beers are diverse, and ultimately it's a highlight of what's going on in Oklahoma. And so, a little bit of back and forth, like, I don't know about that, and kind of arguing and fighting for your favorites is part of the fun of the whole experience.
Hop Jam, of course, is going down at the Brady Arts District. They do it every year now. It's now an integral part of Tulsa. May 20th is when it is. Are you comfortable with the label Oklahoma's largest craft beer festival?
We like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
That is awesome. And we got so many breweries this year because the music part free, and then you can buy your beer pass to sample a bunch of beers. There's different levels of that. TheHopJam.com to find out more. But there's a ton of breweries, too.
Tons of breweries. I mean, if you look at the scope, starting with the first year till this is our fifth year, it's crazy to see how much we've grown. First year we had at every brewery we could find in Oklahoma. It was less than 15. And then it doubled the next year. It doubled the year after that. This year, when all's said and done, we'll have close to 100 breweries.
That's insane.
And that means hundreds of beers, because every brewery brings 2 or 3 out. And, picture, if you haven't been to it, you're standing on Main Street, you're looking straight down. If you know that neighborhood, Kane's Ballroom's down there, right at the end of the street. It's just a sea of beer tents. And the cool thing about on that side, if you just want to geek out about beer, you have so many things to try. The whole idea is you go and you taste and you get a little sampling. You guys have done it. You've been turned on to breweries. You can go find the breweries that you're like, oh, I love this beer. Like, the local breweries like American Solera or Marshall or these cool guys, or some of the national favorites like Lagunitas or Dogfish Head that's going to be there. But you can also just get turned on to crazy stuff that you had no idea.
That you'll never find again.
I promise you, you will not run out of things to try. You will leave with like, oh, I still had this one. I didn't,
It's also a really good time to be downtown. The weather's usually great. There's good music. There's food around, food trucks, and it's a cool time. You want to come out and be with your friends and hang out with somebody, meet somebody on the street. Probably drink with them, become drinking buddies, and
Yep.
Let the games begin.
You definitely meet people that share the same interest as you do when it comes to the beverages. And what I like is the different levels of tickets. You can even get, even though the music part's free, there is a music VIP ticket where you get to experience a reserved concert area and access to the VIP lounge, and which is nice for bathrooms and all that good stuff. If you've been to festivals, you know how important that is. But the beer part is, to me, the most important part ticket-wise, because if you want to get in an hour early, which I think any beer festival, that's an important aspect, you guys offer that as well.
Yeah, you can get in. I mean, if you're just kind of trying it for the first time, you just want to make sure you have access to everything and go in with the regular time. There's a standard ticket for that. But for those of you that are like, hey, I want to make sure to get the special stuff, I want to beat some of the lines, you definitely want to get the Hophead ticket, or you want to get the Hophead VIP, because that also lets you get in not only early, but there's a special ticket that's the kind of the biggest one, which is, hey, I do have a special spot. I can go indoors. I can kind of get out of the heat, and also get access to the beer talks, which we're going to do with those panels. Where we get to sit down and talk craft beer, talk about story, and make sure that everybody that has that interest has the option to go deep, to go down the rabbit hole and really kind of get into it and hear firsthand from some of the breweries that are really special.
And just some great stories too about how the beer's created and how they came with the idea or the name or whatever. It's a fun journey, as you said, to find out more about beer. There's something for everybody at the Hop Jam, whether it's music that's for free or there's a beer that you've always wanted to try or just try new beers. And you guys are even adding something new this year. And I love that you gave this to me to say first. It's the Firkin Feast, and it's going to happen the Saturday night before the event.
That's right. It is not just a dinner, it's a Firkin Feast.
Yeah, so this will be Saturday, the 19th of May. And we're basically going to do a really awesome beer dinner with some really cool local and guys from around the country, different brewers.
Yeah, Dogfish Head's going to be there. Crooked Stave. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I don't know this. Crooked Stave.
Yeah, great brewery. I mean, one of the ones we're most excited about. Noble Ray, another killer brewery. And then, of course, Marshall, Eric Marshall will be there. The brewmasters will be on site at this dinner. So we're really excited that when, people are coming, you can kind of come with your foodie hat. And Trevor Tack, the executive chef from McNally's Group, is going to be designing the menu. I'm sort of the in-house foodie, so I guess I'm tasked with sitting down and we're coming up with an awesome menu.
You poor guy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for you.
So we're going to just, go for that. And then it's going to be just a great time to just, again, we're talking about geeking out about, beer. It's a nice wind up. So if a lot of people are traveling, we know HANSON fans are in town for the week because we do our kind of annual deal with, the fan
Starting
festival.
on Thursday, there's HANSON Day events.
So we know we have people traveling for that. We know we have people traveling for the Hop Jam itself. And so if you're already in town the night before, it's like, dude, this is going to be an insane beer food explosion. And it starts at 8:30 that night. It's over at the Bond Center, Event Center over in the East Village. And it's just to be a killer time. We're really excited to be the first one we've done and hopefully something we continue starting this year.
Beer dinners are fascinating because normally you think of wine being paired with food.
Yeah.
And there's this whole new culture of beer being paired with food. They do it at the Grog Bean Barn has a place called the Reserve, and they do it there really well. And you get to taste food and beer in a way that you would never ever do, but these chefs figure out a way to make it happen that is just delicious.
Well, it speaks to the high-end side of craft beer. I mean, I think it's one of the things that pushed craft beer industry to grow is hey, this isn't just like, flavorless yellow stuff. Like, it's got all of this dimension, and, people started trying weird stuff, and you got into the heritage of great beer. And when you put a sour neck and you put an amber ale or a stout, you immediately go like, oh, that works well with this meat or this vegetable or this flavor, and it all wraps up to make this great experience. Plus, if you're going to be doing that much drinking, you should also be eating because it soaks it up.
Right.
Kind of.
Absolutely.
You need that.
It is.
Let's be honest. We all got to eat.
Right.
Most of us need to drink, otherwise our personalities are
tragic.
Right. And it's not all beer can chicken, right? No. We should be clear that there's a whole bunch of other food creation here.
It's cool to be there with the brewers. We'll be there, so you guys can hang out with us.
Keep an eye on hopjam.com to find out more about the Firkin Feast.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Again, it's going down on Saturday, May 19th, all as a precursor to get you primed for the Hop Jam that's happening the next day. And the music that's going to be there, just announced last week, Rah Rah Riot, Manchester Orchestra, Not a Surf, and Drew Holcomb. And how's the response been over the week for the announcement of the bands?
It's been really great. I mean, I think the great thing about all these bands is it's like they reflect the spirit of this festival. You know, great live music, a diverse group of artists. And I think it's just going to be a really great time.
Before we end this, I want to know, what beer are you guys drinking now? Like, what's in the go-to? I would imagine I know I've been down to your offices, so I know how that works. But in your own personal fridge at home, what's in the repertoire there?
The Iron Monk. We're talking about some of our favorites, actually. Iron Monk is putting out some of the best beer in Oklahoma.
I agree.
And they won the fan favorite the first year that they participated with their stout, and I just think those guys continue. I mean, honestly, there's so many that are on the favorites list. I mean, it's hard to say. I do fall back on. I mean, Founders is one of my favorite breweries. It's just as a personal level, I love their beer as well. And they make. I'm a stout guy, so they make some of the best stouts in the period, hands down. But I also love their all day IPA. And so the combination of local and national is really fun. It is truly like, for us, the Hop Jam is like planning a weird party where you do get to invite like a combination of people you want to come to your thing, and like, hey, we should meet the people you're friends with, and you're going to be there. And so that's sort of what it is like with beers too. You're like, oh, I know that one, I can't wait to see it. And the other one's like, I've heard good things about this.
Yeah,
so,
you got to remember too, for what you're saying is really, we're discovering beers too.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like knowing a great band, but anticipating their next album. You're like, I wonder what they'll do next. And so, with a lot of this, you're going like, I'm excited. I'm going to go try beer.
Yeah.
And what I think is fun, too, is you get to ask these people that love beer what they're drinking. That's why I asked you guys. I know you guys love beer, and you're going to tell me beers. You even bring some in here. Like, Boulevard is a beer that sometimes doesn't get the credit it deserves, because now it's a huge beer.
Absolutely.
And they still are experimenting and trying new beers and creating things like this one that you guys brought today. This is part of their Creature Comforts line, I think, or it's a combo beer that they did with them.
Yeah.
And it's oak-aged lager with peach, lemon zest, and Riesling grape juice. First of all,
nice. Nice.
But it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really delicious.
It's one more example of just the renaissance of creativity that's happening around craft beer. I mean, thankfully, there's still so much to discover on that side. I think even though it's, craft beer finally is like taken its place, culturally, in restaurants and grocery stores all over the country, it's still like we're so far away from, we haven't lost that excitement and that energy with people that are just like trying crazy weird stuff.
And I think that sometimes on a national level, Prairie and Coop get all the attention for the state in terms of beer. And there's so many other great breweries that get zero attention that are happening right here, not just in Tulsa, but just in the whole state.
Well, yeah. And just speaking of Tulsa, obviously, you have Cabin Boys that came for the first time last year. You've got Renaissance is just starting up. You've got Heirloom here locally. Obviously, American Solera was the offshoot with
Willow
Chase,
Family Ales, which was like such a small. They were just like a kind of fun thing they were doing on the side, right?
He's the buddy. I mean, he and Chase with Prairie are buddies. I mean, he was brewing in their space. He was just doing random sours on the side.
Yeah, just messing around.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think the spirit, the whole spirit of all this stuff is like there's so much creativity. There's so much energy. I remember when we started the festival 5 years ago and having this conversation about craft beer and the fact that, craft breweries are like, they're the best small business to have in your town because they hire people, they build things. It's about where they're from.
They're involved.
It's not like, oh, this is just, I pay my taxes in Tulsa. Like these guys are involved. They're out at restaurants. They're they're hiring people. They're building stuff. And it's like that's not going anywhere.
Right.
So it's really, it's something that Tulsans should be proud of. And I think also like, great arts and things that kind of attract other things, it makes Tulsa, it just makes Tulsa a cooler place to be when you have like these different things happening.
If you're a beer fan, this is the event, the Hop Jam, and just announced the Firkin Feast. There is something for everyone that goes on at the Hop Jam, whether it's beer or music, which is totally free. There's 2 stages of it. The voting starts tomorrow for the Awesome Music Opening Band Contest, TulsaWorld.com/Awesome Music Contest. Get your beer tickets because those are going to go fast as we get closer to the date. And the date is Sunday, May 20th, thehopjam.com, the Brady Arts District. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Yeah.
Dude.
Tulsa's Morning Show continues next.